Yo, what's going on, guys? So, I've been talking to a lot of people about what it is I want to do and what I want to create and the kind of message that I want to share to not only my fans and followers, but just my friends and family and kind of the world. I have a lot of big goals that I want to achieve in life, and I know I can't do that without the help and support of those around me. So after I've been talking to a lot of people about a lot of different things. About, I mean, if any of you guys actually know me, like personally, I can ramble on about a lot of stuff that I'm passionate about and talk about a lot of projects and things that I've got going on, and I've just been trying to talk to people to find the best ways to inspire or encourage people to do things that will motivate them to start making the changes in their lives that they want to make to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. And you know, it's a process. It's a really long process, but it's definitely worth it because it's something I'm really passionate about doing, and something I feel strongly about uh, needing to be done. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I don't know. So, what did I want to talk about? Well, really, I want to talk about a couple different things, but mainly what I wanted to say was that I'm going to start doing a lot more documentation and kind of just talking kind of like this, going over everything, stuff that's going on in my life, in my businesses, how things are going, and more importantly, when things go wrong and what goes wrong, and how I work through thinking about how things go wrong and what I do to to learn from them. Because for me, I've always had an outlook on life that there's no real failures. There's just abilities to learn, and I don't fail unless I give up, right? So unless I decide to no longer attempt something or work on something, that's the only time at which I fail. And sometimes, or most times, I don't even look at that as a failure, because most times when I see something didn't go as planned or as I wanted to, rather than look at it as a failure and there's something wrong with me and I can't figure it out, I can't do it, I look at it as something that I can learn from and apply to the next endeavor that I take, or I partake in. And it served me, that mentality, amongst other things, and the people around me and the support around me, but have really given me the ability to succeed, or I guess, or to get to levels of success that other people would determine as successful. And a big reason why I want to start doing this and talking more is because it's not hard. It's not that it's not hard to do, but it's not anything anyone isn't capable of doing. It just comes down to being disciplined about what it is you want to achieve, being open minded to the fact that it might take a lot more work, a lot more learning, a lot more growing, and putting yourself in a lot of uncomfortable situations and positions, or in order to achieve what you think it is you want to achieve. And the great thing about it is, along the journey, you'll start to realize and learn what you actually do care about, what you actually do want to achieve, and that can always adjust and change over time. I think a lot of us may feel that we have to stay committed to something that we declared or made a public statement about. Um, that's good and bad. So, like, making public statements of saying you're going to do something kind of forces you to align with it. But I think sometimes people do that for things that they end up figuring out or finding out at a later time that they're not passionate about. And for fear of what others will think of them, they either don't do it, or they continue to do it even though they know it's not what they want to do or they're passionate about, or it's the right thing to do. I'm kind of tailing off in this kind of rant, I guess, if what you'd like to call it. But I think I'd like to do these a lot more often. I'm gonna kind of do them just with relation to things that maybe I start thinking about and share. Maybe you take something from it, maybe you don't, whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me. I guess this is more for me, but it's also a way for me to kind of think through the things that I'm always thinking about, as well as maybe people out there can kind of find some value about it. I'm gonna do it for just things like this for myself personally, but also kind of well, not kind of. I really, the reason why I'm wanting to do this is because through talking through people, I really realized that most people don't see the long, hard work or the drawn out process that it takes to get to a level of success or to achieve a goal or accomplish something. I think with like how social media and the internet and in just media in general is, you only see, it's always like an overnight success. So this person came out of nowhere, or this person just got lucky, or this person did this, and the problem with that is that's really not true. Almost all people who have gotten to some level of success, they spent a long time and put a lot of effort into learning what it takes to be successful in their particular field. And what kind of is drawing me to want to highlight the struggle, I guess, and the hard work and the failure that goes into achieving success is the current injury that I'm coming back from. When I was talking with my wife and some of my other friends, I realized that no one sees the monotonous, boring, like not fun exercises and workouts and being tired and setbacks and doubting your own abilities and uncertainty that goes into coming back from an injury. And um, I think it'll be a great opportunity for me to use the injury that I have, because I've always looked at things, anything, even if most would say it's bad, as a way to spin it and make it a positive, or to think about how I can make it into a positive. And I've used this injury, again, sorry, rambling, but this injury to me, immediately once I got hurt, I looked at it as an opportunity to make something positive of it. I didn't know right when I got hurt what the positive thing exactly would be, but I knew I could, if I remained positive on the blessings I'd receive from being injured, it would help me come back from injury sooner. And that's the mentality I've always taken with many of my things in life. But what I'm realizing more and more is most people don't have that mentality when it comes to stuff. Setbacks like injuries, getting fired, not accomplishing what they thought they were going to accomplish, like things not working out, because things don't go your way all the time, right? But I realize it really discourages people from even trying anymore, or even continuing to move on. It kind of puts them in a negative mindset, and that negative mindset feeds into itself. And when that feeds into itself, you are literally setting yourself up for failure, because you believe something bad happening is going to result in more bad things happening. I like to think of something bad happening as an opportunity to learn from, and then something good will come of it. But you have to truly believe that, and and it doesn't mean you sit back and wait for something good to happen. You actively put yourself out there and do things to make it happen, because nothing's going to just happen just because, if you're waiting for things to happen, you're not gonna be where you want to be in life. And through all that, I realize I really want to share the process of coming back, and what I'm thinking about, and the things I'm going through at any particular time, because I think that's much more important. And you can learn a lot more from that than you can from just seeing me show up uh, back from injury and playing, and then yeah. I think there's more value to see in the struggles and the process, and how long it actually takes to do something, so people no longer have an unrealistic idea of how long it takes to like be successful, how long it takes to come back from something, how long it takes to achieve something that's worth achieving. Because the real thing about it is, nothing's worth achieving that isn't a lot of hard work, and doesn't take a lot of time. And I really want to show that to people who may feel as though they should be somewhere that they might not necessarily have put in enough work to be at quite yet. I think a big thing is being honest with yourself and putting in a true and honest effort in whatever it is that you're doing. And Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of gonna ramble on about some stuff sometimes, and sometimes it'll be long, sometimes it'll be short. I don't even know where I'm gonna kind of post these things. I'm just gonna start recording stuff like this as I feel inspired to, and once I kind of figure out what I'm gonna do with all of it, I'll I'll do something. I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of it for now. Yeah, well, that's it for that. I've got a lot of other stuff I'm working on in the background. I'm also trying to figure out ways in which I'm gonna start showcasing that, like a ridiculous amount of stuff. So I don't even know what I'm going to do with that. So I'm just going to start recording things like this and sharing stuff and figuring out how best to go about doing it. But I think I will be using my website, so QuincyAmeriqua.com, to kind of organize all this and compile it and make videos. I'm looking for I'm doing something right now. I'm looking for a full time kind of videographer. I'm working with my friend, a close friend of mine, to help me with like getting my articles written more, some like podcasting stuff. I mean, like there are a lot of really cool stuff that I've really been working on for these last couple of years, and I'm finally ready to really kind of, not to share it because I've been sharing stuff over time, but really take it seriously, because I think there's a lot of really great stuff that needs to be said or needs to be shared, or just giving people tools and information, because all this stuff are things that I learned by just spending a lot of time online and Google searching stuff and listening to podcasts and reading books, and really being mindful about the information that I take in. Like, this is me going off onto something else, but I think a really big thing that has been very important for me is being very mindful about how I spend my time and what media and information and individuals and people I consume and listen to on a regular basis. Um, Again, I'm seeing more and more that people and are people watch and spend a lot of their time on things and people who aren't helping them achieve like forward momentum in their life. There's a lot of people who are watching and following celebrities and influencers and following blogs, or just watching TV, and they're just watching things that aren't helping them move forward. And it's kind of crazy because some people have been doing it for so long that they don't even realize that they're doing it, because we've just been in a world where we're consumed by information, we're consumed by media. We can watch and see and learn about anything that we want, but we don't really understand how advertising is playing a huge role in what it is we're choosing to watch and see, and we don't even realize that a lot of that is preventing us from achieving the goals that we want to achieve. So at the expense of making this super long, and if you're still with me listening to me talk right now, I'd like to challenge you to think about the 5 things that you spend the most time doing when you're not working, or yeah, there you go. The 5 things you spend the most time on when you're not working or doing something. Yeah, when you're not working. So, what is that? TV? Is that Netflix? Is that Facebook? Is that Twitter? Is that Instagram? Um, Whatever that is, and then break down how many hours a week you're spending watching something that doesn't help you achieve what it is you think or you say you want to achieve in life. So let's say you want to lose weight, or you want to get healthy or get fit. Um, how many hours in compared? How many hours are you spending learning about how to do that in comparison to things that you don't necessarily have to be doing? Like watching House of Cards, even though I love watching House of Cards, right? But it's a long episode, or Game of Thrones or something like that. Like, those things are really awesome shows, and they're fun, and they pass time, but really break down how much time you're spending doing that. Let's say playing video games, playing FIFA, um, whatever that is, and see how much time you're spending doing things that aren't aligning with the stuff that it is you actually say you want to do. And again, like I said, you have to be very honest with yourself. Be very honest with yourself. And then once you figure that out and write that down, physically write this down, because like, I'm realizing people are not being mindful of this. You have to be mindful of this. Write this down so you can see how much time you're dedicating to things that aren't helping you achieve your goals. And I hope that helps you kind of really see what and how you can start purposefully reaching out to or searching on YouTube, on Google, on anywhere, and start finding people who are helping others achieve what it is you're saying that you want to achieve, and start dedicating more and more time to that. And as you start doing that, you'll start realizing you would much rather spend your time learning things that will help you achieve your goals than you will wasting time on things that will pass time. Because the biggest thing is you only have so much time and you don't know how much time you have. And if you're wasting time and not investing your time, you're going to look back and regret having wasted that time that you know that you can't ever get back. So yeah, this is getting long. I wasn't even expecting to talk this long or talk about anything in particular. I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna talk. But yeah, that's it for me, really. Um, yeah, shoot me some questions or topics or stuff that you guys would want me to talk about. I think I'm gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna start doing this because why not? All right, thanks a lot for listening and shoot me questions if you got them, and I'll figure this thing out. All right, thanks, guys.